Good afternoon and welcome to St Brendan's Park in Birr for the Littlewoods Division 1 relegation playoff between Dublin and Clare. And right at the start we have Breed McNamara with me, former PRO of the year, 2011, 2012 and a few other awards that will not go into them all.
No,
we've
a match to get to.
But the most important thing is right now you have some team news for me from Clare.
Yeah, very late substitution or replacement on the Clare team. Claude O'Halloran is replacing Aoife Keane in the middle of the field. Aoife picked up a slight knock at a light training session last night and unfortunately hasn't recovered in sufficient time to make the start in 15 here today. So it's a first start for Claude O'Halloran, who probably would be known to a lot of Clare people for her appearance in Ireland's Fittest Family last year. So
not a bad player to bring in if she's in
No,
Ireland's
not
Fittest
at all.
Family. She's going to be fit, and she came on as a sub against Limerick as well.
She
14.
did. She did indeed, yeah, come on as a sub in the Limerick game. And for her own club, Newmarket-on-Fergus, she has been a stalwart over the last number of years. So a good player to be able to jump in at the last minute.
And it's her first year on the panel?
It's her first year on the panel as well, yeah. So obviously her performance at club level over the past couple of years has really impressed the management, and they've finally managed to get her into the senior ranks.
Now this Clare team today, so they've got her coming in. It doesn't sound like that's going to disrupt them too much, but obviously a very important match. Both teams have another chance next week. The losers will play Waterford, but what's the Clare mentality going into this one? Are they thinking, we have another chance, or are they thinking we need to nail this today?
I think we're more of the mentality that we need to nail this today. Against Galway, strong performance for the opening 40, 45, 50 minutes, but then let Galway take over at that point, and we defend it more so than attack the game. Limerick came at us in Innis. I think we were all blown away by the intensity that Limerick brought to the game, and we weren't able to match it. And we know that we've played Waterford previously, played them in the league last year. They were our banana skin in the league, so we know what they're like, what their capabilities are. You've players like Niamh Rockett, Beth Carton down in Waterford who are absolutely superb. We'd rather not face them, so we'd prefer to get the job done today, so we would.
Yeah, but that won't be easy. I mean,
no,
this Dublin
definitely
team you seen
not.
a few weeks ago, they're a very good team. But let's talk about your team. I mean, you have a Duran Murphy in goals there. I mean, she's only in her debut year. She's in there, but she's done very well so far. You have Clare Hare at full-back, your captain, I mean, a super stalwart. And you have Niamh O'Dea back at centre half-back. She's been out injured now. That's crucial. I mean,
that's crucial for us. Yeah, that is crucial for us that Niamh has been able to make her return for this game today. She was actually the player of the game when the two sides met last October in Father McNamara Park in Innis in the championship. She put in a massive performance that day.
They've named the park after you as well, McNamara Park too.
It's Father McNamara Park, Jerome. But yeah, Niamh had a huge performance that day, so she had in Innis. We're delighted to see her back on the pitch and able to play now today, having missed the opening two games. And she is a massive contributor amongst the panel, so she is.
She is. And then you have Zian Spillane, who just started her leaving cert on Wednesday. But in the forwards, you have Maura McGrath, you have Emer Kelly, you have Chloe Murray. I mean, those are all fabulous players. I mean, we're talking all-star levels. We're talking girls who can get goals. I mean, will Chloe Murray stay in full forward,
I think Chloe will stay in full forward, so she will today, yeah. She might roam back a little bit, maybe to the half-back line or the half-forward line, but nothing further than that. She has a job to do today, and we want her to do it, simple as.
I'm reading into what you're saying now. That sounds like a tactical sort of bit of information that we're getting just before the game where Chloe's going to play.
After the two defeats, listening to Ger when he was speaking on the various media outlets in Clare during the past week, his approach was that we abandoned tactics and all that in the last couple of weeks, and we just let our hurling do the talking now.
And Chloe, of course, you won her all-star at left half-back, but she's up in the forwards, and Maura's up in the forwards there as well. And you were telling me as well about Chloe that she was actually born in Los Angeles in California, and she wears an American bandana under her helmet.
Under the helmet, yeah. It's just her touch, I suppose, with her American roots. But she's known for it, the American bandana, so she is well known for it.
If she gets a goal today, that's going to be in the commentary. The American gets the goal, because there's lots of American camogie out there at the minute. But this is actually a camogie player who they can sort of claim. She was born there anyway.
They can try and claim her, but I think 6 Mile Bridge Camogie Club and indeed ourselves, Clare Camogie, she's ours, simple as, she's ours.
Well, let's not get into an ownership route, because then you're into Maura McGrath, who plays for 6 Mile Bridge, but she's from Cratloe.
She's from Cratloe and she works in Galway.
Well, there you go. Right, we're going to substitute you now, no harm to you, but please come back at half time and we're going to get Sheila to come in with us now, so she's going to take the microphone off you, but we'll get you at half time.
Perfect,
We'll see how it's going. Thanks very much. Very colourful bib. You're like one of my highlighters there. You're that bright today. So Sheila, if you can step in here. So thanks very much to Breed McNamara and Sheila. We're just getting some interesting information there actually from Breed about one team change, and that's Clodagh O'Halloran is in for Aoife Keane. Now Clodagh would be in her first year, and she was in Ireland's fittest family last year, by the way, so there'll be no issues there with fitness. She's a super player. But more importantly, she's telling me that Chloe Murray, they think, will be in around the full forward area because they've maybe had an issue at the last while and they want her to sort of stay in around that area. She'd be a big threat in there.
Huge. I noticed that in the games against Limerick and Galway, she was out as centre forward. So when I saw her named at number 14 today, it's a massive aerial threat there, and I would imagine that they're trying to expose Dublin again, like we saw last time against Offaly when the high ball was going in. Offaly were pretty much cleaning up under the high ball. They were letting them catch it. Not letting, but like Offaly were managing to catch it. So I'd say Clare, that's a very tactical switch, and they know full well how good Chloe Murray is at fetching the high ball. So, and she's strong as an ox. Like, she's unbelievable.
Well, at the same time though, I mean, Clare conceded 3 goals in the first half against Galway, so they're known to let them in at the other end. So if Dublin can maybe get a good start and get a goal or two, I mean, the half-time score against Clare, Galway 3-2, Clare 12 points. So Galway only scored 5 times in the first half, but 3 of them were goals. So both defences here maybe a little bit suspect.
Yeah, I think so. Probably fair to say. And then, but it also highlights the scoring ability of Clare, which I'd be, they're very good at the long range strike and close in. They work the ball, they find the best player in the best position. They're a very patient team. I would be wary of that, and I mean, we discussed Offaly conceding a lot of goals as well, but Dublin couldn't capitalise on that either. So for that, I kind of have to go for Clare on that side of things.
Yeah, and looking at the rest of the team, one of the key players back is Niamh O'Dea, who's been out injured, but she's back today at centre half back. She's a quality player. She's a dual player. Everybody knows about her. Ashbourne, the UL, that kind of or UL with the Ashbourne, that kind of thing. She's a super player, and that'll be really strengthening them. And she's coming up against a really young player in Jodie Couch. I mean, if they're both on each other, that's going to be a fascinating little duel.
I'm actually really excited about that one, because I had noticed as well that Niamh hadn't been in, and now she's a tower of strength in there. Who doesn't want a Niamh O'Dea as centre back? But you have a player, Jodie, coming off a player of the match performance against Offaly. She's going to be brimming with confidence. I don't think she cares who she's on. She'll just play her own game.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, no, I was trying to find a nice way of saying it. It's not that she doesn't care, but she'll not be influenced by, or she'll not even maybe know what Niamh O'Dea's done in the past.
Exactly. It's just not going to... she'll be aware of the threat, and I'm sure the lads will have spoken to her about it, but I'm sure she's been given a free role as well, in the sense that she's allowed to play her own game, but just to be aware of the ability of Niamh and her positioning and her reading of the play and everything. But it's one of the battles that I'm really looking forward to, because it's a lot of experience against a very young player who's oozing confidence at the moment. I'm
looking around to see what the referee's doing. I keep hearing a whistle going. I'm not sure if it's the coaches or the referees, but they are right in the middle. The referee, John Dermody, is out there. Just looking at the Dublin team, one of the big things, that standout things, is the goalkeeper, Ciara Tierney, is in today. What has happened there in that goalkeeping area, and what do you think Dublin are doing?
I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose from a
I don't believe that for a minute. You're a Dublin goalkeeper. Right. You know exactly what's going on.
No, well, I have an opinion. I can't say whether it's right or not. I mean, we all have opinions, right? But I'd imagine shipping 4 goals against Offaly in the manner of which, they were conceded, they probably had a good long hard look at it. Communication for me as a goalkeeper is extremely important, to organise the backs in such a way that things like that don't happen. So, look, I'm not going to say that it was anything got to do with Faye, but they could be just rotating it or whatever, or they could be trying somebody who might be a little more communicative, a bit more loud, and maybe a bit more threatening. Faye's very laid back.
Okay, well, no place for laid-back players today, and no place for us on the sideline now, so I'm going to take that microphone off you. We're going to go back up to the commentary point, and we're going to get ready for the start of the game here in St Brendan's Park in Birr, because we are ready to go, or almost. The Dublin players going out into the middle of the fields, and the Clare players still doing their warm-up, but they are about to join them, and their captain is Clare Hare, the number 3 for Clare today, and we'll watch to see if there's any positional changes before the game as they line out. But very quickly, Dublin: Ciara Tierney, Deirdre Johnston, Eve O'Brien, Murren Kelleher, Emma O'Byrne, Grania Quinn, Hannah Hegarty, who's the captain today. At midfield, Emma Flanagan and Leah Butler. Now, Leah came in as a sub the last day, but she's starting today. Then you have Niamh Gannon, Jodie Couch, Aoife Whelan, Cleona Nicoletti, Kerry Finnegan and Aisling Marr. And I'm going to break off there because I'll give you the Clare team as we go on, but we're about to have the ball thrown in by John Dermody from Westmeath. And you can hear a lot of excitement around the park, even with a very small crowd in here. And there indeed the ball goes in, and Dublin get it right at the start. That's Emma Flanagan, and immediately fires it in. And what a catch by Kerry Finnegan. It could be a score early on, but no, there's not. But a nice promising bit of play from a Dublin point of view there to win that, and indeed it is not given as a wide, or is it given as a wide? I'm not quite sure what's been done out there. Yeah, it's a Dublin ball, but good start there.
Great start, great catch. Disappointing, I think, if somebody was coming off the shoulder there, probably a little pop pass could have created a beautiful score and give Dublin a bit of confidence there going forward, but at least they've got a 45 out of it, so I'd imagine now Ash won't make any mistake with this one.
Yeah, we know she can hit them from distance. That's Aisling Marr, the All-Star from 2017, and we saw her a few weeks ago up in O'Toole Park putting them over from here, and there's me putting pressure on her. Hope she doesn't hear me. On her right side, gets a good connection. Does it have the accuracy? And it does. First point off the game to Dublin. Good start for the Dubs. 1 point to no score. We're only in the second minute of the game. Now the goalkeeper is Doireann Murphy. Made her debut just a few weeks ago at senior level for Clare. So first blood to Dublin, and you can tell right down in front of us that the atmosphere is good. It's a bit lively. And there's some nice play by Emer Kelly. She is such a threat when she runs with the ball, and there she goes, showing that promise right at the start. The Dublin players are very aware of the threat, and they get in around her and they turn it over. This is a super start by Dublin. Really good in the offence and the defence, and that's Leah Butler running with the ball and doing really well. And there's Jodie Couch, and Jodie fires it down into the left corner position, and that's Nicoletti. And here she comes on her left side, and she goes for a score, and that drops over the bar. Brilliant score by the girl from St Jude's, made by Jodie Couch.
Absolutely brilliant score, brilliant fight and hard work there from Dublin. I thought actually Deirdre Johnson had given a free out with a chop there, but went unseen by the ref. Great break by Leah Butler, and a fantastic ball in from Jodie Couch. Fair play to Clean Nicoletti, actually near Scolora of Sculmaloga as well, so delighted for her to get on the scoreboard there.
Absolutely. Well, and she didn't play the last day, so what a great start for a corner forward when you get, and there's Jodie Couch getting involved again with a lovely layoff as well. And we talked about her at the start. Now the ball is going to drop in and around the square, but it's going to go wide. But lovely, confident play by Jodie Couch as well. Great
confidence there from Dublin, and great effort from Niamh Gannon. But on another day, they'd all be flying over, and Dublin's backs to be up all right. But very calm out here as well. There doesn't seem to be much of a breeze, so it's good to see them playing with confidence and making those efforts from far out.
There was a very slight breeze when I was down there in favour of Dublin, but nothing that would really make any difference at all. But what is the difference is 2 points on the board for Dublin. Perfect start for them against a very good Clare team as well. So their tails are up right from the start, and that's exactly what the management would have wanted. A couple of points, and we talked about the confrontation between Couch and O'Dea in there, and already Couch has had a couple of lovely moments on the ball. But here come Clare, their first real attack of the game. That's the furthest forward they've got it, but well read and well organised by the Dublin defence to one to go for the ball and one to watch where to go afterwards. That's good intelligent defence from them, but I'll let Sheila Kutcher analyse that. I'll just describe it and she can tell you what's happening. There's Emer Kelly looking for a bit of support, but great work by Dublin again in defence there, and I think they've also got a free as well, or has it gone the other way? But anyway, good crowding there from Dublin, and they seem to be working really hard.
Much better from Dublin as opposed to last week when 3 or 4 of them went for the same ball and the ball dropped and it ended up in the back of the net. So that was really pleasing to see there. A high ball into Chloe Morey. We all know how dangerous she is. So Eve stayed down, took the break, and it gave it a good delivery out. I think Flanagan was probably a little bit unlucky there, but probably when you're so close to the sideline, maybe a hand pass would have been a better option.
Yeah, I think she maybe took it over the line. There's a poor ball in though from Ryan, and Dublin will profit again. And let's see how they're aiming for this corner again, and this time it's actually Kerry Finnegan who's going for it from full forward. She's come out to the side, but she hasn't got it, and that's a foul in there. So it'll be a free out. And I did mention about the crowd, but they're actually making a lot of noise, and there is a bit of a crowd down to our left on this side of the stand, and you can see the subs there as well. And maybe it's because it's a little bit echoey in here, or maybe it's just because people are very excited about the game, but there is a good intensity at the start of this game, and you feel it's probably helped by the fact that Dublin have got the first couple of points, and they're really going to put it up to Clare and really going to push to try and save their Division 1 status at the first attempt. And they're getting out in front, and that's Niamh Gannon. She's got out in front, and Dublin playing with a bit of confidence. The last day against Offaly, they seem to get caught early on, but this time they're in front and they are winning every ball. Even if they're not in front, like that one from Aisling Maher, it's dropping in behind for them. So Dublin need to profit at this stage. Now that could go back to a free, but she's keeping going in the meantime. The referee has given her advantage, and she will get to go back and get the free, I think, from a little bit further out, and Aisling herself will probably take that. But again, I know I'm being a little bit pro-Dublin, but I'm actually trying to be positive for Dublin because they've made the positive start, Sheila.
They absolutely have, and they're working extremely hard for every single possession. You know, Clare are getting nothing easy, and it's fantastic to see. I tell you, if that didn't work out for Aisling Maher on the sideline, I'm afraid I probably would have let rip. But she did very well to kind of play the hurl to let the ball through to herself, and I think that the free was justified there.
Maher was voted by the players in a poll during the week as vice-captain, and she responds by putting it over the bar. 3 points to 0 for Dublin after 7 minutes. Now, where is Doireann Murphy going to go with this one? Because Clare are 3 points down and they're not making many inroads at all. She's coming to our side, right over to here, and underneath it is the number 7 Hannah Hegarty, the captain of Dublin, and Dublin indeed have won it. They're winning all the exchanges. Here she comes, the captain, as voted by her players during the week. Oh, and what a finish as well. Dublin are on fire early on. That's a brilliant score by Aoife Whelan from Castleknock. It's 4 points to 0. The Dubs are flying.
Whatever Downey and Adrian are doing at training is absolutely coming off here today. That is incredible interplay there from Dublin. Something I haven't seen before. It's just pop pass, take it back, and driven over the bar.
It was a little bit like the last day in the first 10 minutes of the second half when Dublin really put it up to Offaly, and with 6 points up, it was a little bit like that. But at the minute, as you say, the interplay is actually even better. It's
just they're taking that second to look up. There's no snapshots, and they're listening out for the call. So the communication seems to be better, the movement seems to be better. I tell you, they're very much up for this game. I don't know, have Clare kind of come in maybe with the favourites tag, and they're maybe have been taken by surprise, but this is incredible stuff from Dublin at the moment.
And that was Niamh Gannon on that occasion. As you could tell that they knew exactly what they were doing. They're aiming for Kerry Finnegan in there in the full forward position. Now, it didn't quite work on that occasion, but they are definitely in command early on. Clare, I'll go through the rest of their team. Ciara Grogan is number 2 for Clare. Claire Hare, the captain, is at number 3. Susan Daly at 4. Alana Ryan is 5. Niamh O'Dea 6. Laura McMahon 7. Orla Duggan 8. Zian Spillane 9. Maura McGrath 10. Becky Foley 11. And Clodagh O'Halloran is in instead of the number 12, Aoife Keane, and she is wearing 17. Let me go back to the play. Oh, it's over the end line, so we'll finish that. Emer Kelly is 13. Chloe Morey 14. Robin Conway 15 for Clare. Referee looking at his watch. A bit early for that, John. It's only 9 minutes in. Checking both of his watches. Maybe there was a little bit of a stoppage there. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he's making sure that the player doesn't take too long, but that's a brilliant sideline ball. Or was it a free there? No, I think it was sideline, but really well done there by Alana Ryan. Now, can Clare get their first score of the game? That looks a dangerous one. It's gone over the bar and well finished by Conway. New to the panel this year. She came on as a sub against Limerick the last day. She started today and she gets Clare on the scoreboard. Probably a bit of a lack of communication there in the Dublin backs. Murren had the ball out in front of her but swung it back across into 2 Clare players. So it's probably something to work on there. But overall in the back line it seems to be very, very organised. Here comes Maher. Could there be a goal on here? There's a chance. Oh, she's fired it to the net, and a goal for Dublin early on. And it's from the girl who was voted vice-captain during the week by her teammates. They'll be delighted with her responding like that. And it all came from the goalkeeper who's in today, Ciara Tierney, with a massive puck out. But what a finish. What a finish is absolutely right. There was no, I'm sure the minute Ash got the ball there was only one thing on her mind, and holy moly, she absolutely buried it. There was no stopping that one. Fantastic lift for Dublin. And there's another effort. This time it goes wide. But Dublin leading 1-4 to a point early on. The short puck out goes to her, the captain. She needs to lift her team, and off she goes, and she plays a short one there to O'D. And Clare really need to get something moving in this game, so they're playing it a little bit shorter from the puck out this time. Slightly different tactic, but it's dropping dangerously, but Tierney is under it, and she looks confident in there, and that is exactly what Dublin need today. And the goalkeeper has saved that, and she's also created the goal. She got an assist for the goal a few minutes ago with a massive puck out, and I wonder, is that a tactic? But here comes Finnegan now, the full forward for Dublin. She likes to come out to this left corner of the attack and win ball, but she hasn't held on to it on this occasion. Great pressure from the Dubs, and they have forced a mistake there. Oh, that's brilliant work again by Flanagan. Flanagan offloads it to Whelan. Clare managed to regroup back there, but the pressure being applied by Dublin all over the pitch is very impressive, and Clare are struggling to get into this game, and they have been rocked by a goal and 4 brilliant points as well. But here they come now, Clare. There's loads of grass in front of Orla Duggan. And Orla tries to find their forwards, and she tries to find, is that Kelly in there? No, it's Conway in there. But Dublin have everything wrapped up at the minute. They have Clare's number at the minute. Niamh Gannon is there, but so is Laura McMahon for Clare. And I think that's O'D over there, who's thankfully back from injury. Now Kelly, and Kelly turns immediately and whacks that one. Now I think they're going to call that out for a 45, but a little bit better from Clare.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
They're trying to get going here, but it's 100 miles an hour out there, and they're getting no time in the ball.
They aren't, but you can see Niamh O'D coming into the game a little bit more. She's cleaning up a bit of the loose ball and giving clever passes in. That was a beautiful turn there from Kelly. I was actually almost willing it over just for the sheer turn, the beauty of the turn and everything. But they got a 45 out of it, which I have no doubt that Maury will pop that one over.
Chloe Murray has scored 14 points so far, mainly frees. I think it was 145 in it. Yeah, she doesn't miss those. And that's 1-4 to 2 points after nearly 12 minutes. And we've had an explosive start to this game. And tactically, it's very interesting that number 7, Hannah Hegarty, the Dublin captain, is almost in the stand with us down here. They're trying to stretch the game, Dublin. Ball drops and is won on the break by Spillane, and it's actually a free for Clare. And they're all looking for a bit of room up there, and O'D smacks it, but it's intercepted by the captain, and she loves that left-handed catch. She tries to pass it, but it is ended up with Maura McGrath, and Maura is surrounded in there, and she tries to get a stick at it, but drops it over the line, and that's going to be a Dublin ball.
I'm a bit surprised she didn't get a free there. Definitely in a Dublin county, and the club scene, the minute the ref hears the clash of Ash, he gives a free, but he let play go there, and it was great work right from the Dubs to win that ball back.
Low ball into the forwards this time, and that's going to go to Murray. Now what can Murray do? She's going to go for goals, surely. She's in behind, she goes left, and she fires it into the net. That's a brilliant response from Clare. That's why she is an all-star. Way back in 2013 as a left half back, but she's not a bad full forward either. Incredible skill
and strength there from Chloe Maury, but this is I was concerned there a few minutes ago from Ciara Tierney's puck out, and there was 3 or 4 Clare people waiting, as there is under this one. So they're after waking up, they're back in the game, and now we're seeing the real Clare team coming out, and that's what the ability is clearly there. So I'd be a bit concerned now for Dublin in the next few minutes.
Orla Duggan coming now for Clare. Is this another score for them to bring it right back? They were 6 points down. Now there's only 1 point in it. But significantly, Sheila, the ball was low into the forwards. Their forwards are so dangerous. If you can get them on the ball like that, that's where the danger is.
I think it doesn't really matter what way it goes into this forward line with Clare, because they're just they have unbelievable skill, unbelievable first touch, and you can see the strength there from Chloe Maury. Very hard to defend against. So
Dublin now are the team who need to respond after that whirlwind start. which give them a 1-4 to 1 point lead. They're right back. Clare have hit 1-2 in the last few minutes, so it's 1-4 to 1-3 after 14 minutes. We'll have a water break in the next few minutes, and at the minute it looks like Dublin will be the team who will be grateful for it. Emma O'Byrne now, she drives it into the Clare half, but the Dubs have just lost their way a little bit.
Lost their way, and that interplay that we saw earlier hasn't come into it there. That was a bit of a hit and hope there from Emma O'Byrne, but I don't know, it's because they're under so much pressure. Is kind of a sudden blast of fatigue or something in amongst the backs. I think Gráinne Quinn is looking a bit sluggish there. She was a bit slow to pick that ball up. But I'm just, at the moment, I'm a bit concerned, so I hope Dublin can get a score now just to settle them back into it.
I see Gráinne off the ball, by the way. It's sitting unmarked in a sort of sweeper role in there for Dublin, so maybe that's the Dublin management saying, look, we need to steady this a little bit. But up in the attack now, that's Kerry Finnegan going for it and getting stuck in there to try and win that ball. She's two players around her, but she's trying to get in there, and Alana Ryan has got to it first, and Clare now will try and clear their lines, but lots of pressure being exerted. That's a good strike by Maura McGrath. She gets lots of length in that, and it's a dangerous one for the Dubs, but they're watching each other, the players. It's very interesting. You can see the defenders that they've always got somebody else. If they see that their teammate's not going to make it, they're going to back them up, and that's what they do. But that's another wayward pass coming out of defence, and the referee now calls for the water break, and we can get our breath back, Sheila. That was a fantastic first quarter.
Unbelievable, and it's probably come at the right time for a Dublin team, but Clare probably rue that now that the whistle had to go for the water break, because they're certainly on top at the moment, and they're doing to Dublin what Dublin were doing in the first 15 minutes, or in the first half of the 15 minutes. Kind of an incredible fight back. Like, I don't know, it was just like a switch was turned on there in Clare, and it was like, oh, hold on a minute, we're in a game here, because under every high ball there was 3 or 4 of them waiting for the break. One of them was going up, and the communication was very good, and they were just working it back up and just giving that right decent pass right into the full forward line. So certainly a game in our hands, and it's very exciting. It'll be interesting to see how Dublin can respond to this, considering what happened against Offaly when they were 6 or 7 points up and conceded the goals. So this water break, I think, couldn't have come at a better time.
I'm just tuning in here to us on YouTube and watching us, watching people watching us. If you like, there's 231 people watching. I'm just going to see if there's any comments as well, and feel free to leave your comments on that YouTube page about what you've seen so far in this game, because it has been a very interesting start to the game, and we will try to read out your comments as we go on in this game. But the standout moment for me, Sheila, and you'll appreciate this as a goalkeeper, was Ciara Tierney's puck out for the goal. I mean, way over to the right hand side, it went over Niamh Gannon's head. Aisling Maher took it on, so that counts as an assist.
Me on 45, but that's a different story. No, it was absolutely monumental puck out from Ciara, and Aisling Maher did incredibly well, in fairness to her, to take it on, and she absolutely buried it. So you definitely, as a goalie, you'd be happy with that kind of assist.
Back in with the play, and what a brilliant strike that was again by Alana Ryan, and she got loads of height in that, and it's been taken by Emer Kelly, and Emer goes right, she goes left, she puts it into the danger area, and it pops up, and Ciara Tierney, for a moment, her heart must have been in her mouth, but she cleared her lines, and she looks accomplished in there in the goal. She's conceded one, but it certainly wasn't anything to do with her in terms of faults, because she's made a confident start to this game, and Dublin are 1-4 to 1-3 in the 17th minute of the game now, so 1 point in it, and it really is game on. Very, very interesting game here, and over on the far side from us now, that will be a sideline ball, and it is Clare's number 7, Laura McMahon. Her sister Roisin should be playing, but she's injured at the minute, from Newmarket-on-Fergus, and Laura is known to get the odd point as well. She scored a point against Limerick, in fact, the last day. But it's Dublin's ball now, and switches to Ciara Grogan, the cornerback for Clare, and every time I give it to one team, it goes back to the other team. It's just a little bit like that at the minute, a little bit scrappy, but nice take there by Leah Butler, and she drives forward, and the referee is going to give that as a free against her for charging, I presume, Sheila.
Yeah, it was drawn well by Clare, I have to say. She stood her ground, and if you know the rules of camogie, that'll always win you the free as long as your feet are planted, so you have to give credit to the ref there, I suppose. it's very hard when you're in full flight to pull up or get the sidestep in, and when somebody's standing their ground like that when you have somebody on you already. So, I mean, I don't think Leah deserves a yellow here, but that's my opinion. But I think that's a bit harsh, to be honest.
Do you think it was for that, or maybe it was a little bit of verbals after, or maybe she wasn't happy with the decision? I mean, would he have booked her just on the challenge alone?
I'd be surprised if he did, but I'd also be surprised if there's verbals after. Like, Leah just gets the head down and goes about her business. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be like her really.
Getting back with the play now, it is Clare on the attack, and that's a good strike there by Maura McGrath, and it's well defended by Dublin again. A good knockdown and well read by Deirdre Johnston from St Vincent's, who is into the team today. So Dublin, for the most in defence, to be fair, have been coping very well. It's just that goal that rocked them, but that was a little bit of individual brilliance by Murray. And talking about individual brilliance, is that gone over the bar? It has gone over the bar. What a smashing point. And is that Gannon over on the far side? I think it is Gannon. What a super score.
I was just going to say, for Dublin to come back into this, we need the half forwards to wake up and get into it. And then all of a sudden, Niamh Gannon, it opened up for Chloe Murray, who was on her. I suppose didn't have the legs to keep her going. Tried to communicate to the next Clare person, but by then Niamh Gannon was gone. And what an unbelievable score from long range there from her. That'll do her confidence the world of good.
And there's Deirdre Johnson again sweeping up the loose ball, which she did just for that score as well. And those sort of balls in defence that they need to be getting and clearing, and then that gives the ammunition to the likes of Niamh Gannon, and then she can do the rest, and that's what's working for Dublin. They're now 2 points up. They were 6 points up, but they'll take 2 at this point. And before the game, I'd have said they probably would have been happy being 2 up, but what a run here by Niamh O'Dea, and Jodie Couch has not gone with her, and away she goes, and she sets it up for Emer Kelly in the forwards. And it looked for a moment like Emer Kelly had been fouled, but it's let go, and that's good defensive work by Dublin again. And Hannah Hegarty, the captain, shows a good bit of composure in there. And this is better by Dublin. This is really good. Aoife Whelan in loads of room down on the left-hand side, and she's going to look for Finnegan again. They seem to do that a lot, but Finnegan isn't able to get it. She might have been better just holding on a minute there, but she tried to get the quick ball in, and Finnegan is trying to get another tackle in, but instead it's Alana Ryan coming out again, and Maura McGrath again. Those two players have been doing a lot of damage here. Orla Duggan for Clare, she gets rid of the ball and moves it on up, and this is actually the number 17, and that's Clodagh O'Halloran, and she's not on as a sub, although she's wearing 17. She started the game, and if you didn't hear earlier on from Aoife Keane, and Dublin have again quelled that attack from Clare, so good defensive work again. So Clare really have only got up once or twice into the danger area, but this is the girl who caused all the damage, and she just turns effortlessly there onto her right side, puts it over the bar. She is such a threat.
It's just a difference between the teams for me at the moment is the ball going in. Like the snapshot there from Murren to clear her lines, it went straight to a Clare person, which created the attack for Clare. However, the ball into Chloe Murray popped up in front of her, beautiful to hand, turned and over the bar. Like, it's hard to defend against that. So Dublin need to get the passing right into the forwards again, like they did in the first half of the first half.
It's great work by Jodie Couch in there. But yeah, going back to Chloe Murray, I mean, obviously Breed McNamara, the PRO for Clare, was sort of telling us before the game that she's going to stay in full forward. They've named her in there this week. She doesn't always play in there, and as I say, she won an All-Star further back, but she is such a threat in there for Clare. She's brought it back to a 1-point game, 1-5 to 1-4 in the 22nd minute here in Birr in the Littlewoods Division 1 relegation playoff. The losers will have another chance next week against Waterford, but both teams are playing today as if they do not want to play again next week. They want to finish the job this week, and it's Aisling Maher again right down in front of me here with a superb strike. That's absolutely brilliant. She has nailed that in the 22nd minute to restore the 2-point lead.
That was a great strike. In fairness now to Ash, that was brilliant, nice and composed. So it's nice to push it out to 2 points again.
Such a clean strike as well. It was right over the black spot, but Clare will now try and get back into it, and that's a good smack down there, and it's gone into a little bit of a ruck. They're all going for it. Who's going to come out with it? Is it going to be the yellow? It's going to be the blue. Oh, lovely little take there by Emma Flanagan. That was beautifully done there. She really claimed that one and gets it up to Finnegan. Now we know she can score from here, but on that occasion she scuffs it a little bit, but she's working really hard but hasn't really got into it yet, Kerry Finnegan.
She's working really hard, but like it's quite predictable. The first ball she got, she caught it beautifully and turned to strike it over. Like, it's clear that Clare have done their homework. She's always going to turn on that side, and she did it again. She needs to do something different, even a pass off the shoulder or go the other way, but something different.
Here comes Kelly for Clare though at the other end. And we know there's one very prolific Kelly on the lips of all Clare fans at the minute. Tony Kelly, of course, is 20 points last week, but Emer is really good as well, but she was not able to make any progress on that occasion, but such a threat in there, and that threat will be there right throughout the game, so Dublin really have to be on their game. And Clare, trying to get out, have put the ball over the sideline and right in front of the Dublin subs, so Aisling Maher will gleefully take this one and try to put the pressure back on. It's back to a 2-point game, 1-6 to 1-4. What can she do with this? She goes low, and I'm not sure that she was actually going for that particular teammate, but it certainly got to her, and there was a 50-50 in there, and she has gone down. I'm not quite sure, Sheila, who is it? Who it is?
Niamh Gannon there, I think. She went in with a bit of courage. She was slightly behind the Clare player, so she did very well to get the touch in, but with that came the coming together, and I think she's taken a bit of a knock to the shoulder there. Hopefully it's just not anything to do with the head, but it's hard to see. A little bit better from Dublin again, a bit more composed. I think Ash's shot there, her confidence is up, and that's fair. You know, she's hit a couple of great frees, she's got that amazing goal, but I think on that occasion she's just that bit far out, and if you're going to be hit, that you need to get them on target so that at least Clean Nicoletti is in there. She's ready to pounce, you know, if the keeper was to spill it, but when they go out wide, it's kind of a sucker punch. It's a bit like, oh, I'm after doing all this work and now nothing comes of it, so it's just getting these small things right, like
But talking about getting the small things right, Dublin seem to have done a lot of work in their defence. They brought in a new goalkeeper, they brought in Deirdre Johnson at cornerback, and you know, a word for the defence, because in the first 20-25 minutes of this game, Dublin seemed to have tightened up a lot. Okay, there was a bit of individual brilliance from Chloe Murray for the goal, but they seem to be backing each other up. They seem to be more aware of the game, more lively. They seem to be aware of what's going on. They seem to have a plan back there now.
Absolutely, and I think actually communication is key. They're talking to each other, they're saying, I'm going up, you stay down, or you know, they've obviously worked it on the training ground that there's more faith in each other, so when the high ball goes in, that they're confident that Eve will get it, and they're already moving out to the wing zone to collect the pass from her. So all this stuff comes in training, and the confidence building, and knowing what your cornerbacks are going to do as a halfback and midfielder is very important as well.
Well, they've obviously learned an awful lot, because they had the game a few weeks ago, then a challenge game last week, and you know, they're still getting to know their way, but they've certainly picked up on what happened, and we're now 26 minutes gone. Glad to see that Niamh Gannon is absolutely fine out there.
There was someone warming up
deep
there.
Into the Dublin defence, but well read by Hegarty, the captain. She just backs up what I was saying a minute ago, that she is reading the game well, and Dublin sweeping up, and it's been mainly Dublin on the attack, and they've been quelling the Clare attack. So Clare's chances really at scores have been rare enough. Now it's Dublin trying to get through again, but there is Maher has gone down actually with holding her arm or her wrist, and the referee is going to give her the chance to get a little bit of attention there. I'm not quite sure what he's decided, or maybe he's just going to hold up the play, but we don't want to see Aisling Maher getting any sort of an injury, because she takes the frees for Dublin. And did you spot something there?
Yeah, I think it was actually a late block, but I think the ref was very late to blow the whistle, so I'm not entirely sure what he's called here. But it's a free out. Ball. So I thought that she came in late with the block, and hence Ash didn't get a good connection on it, but maybe that's my blue tinted glasses on at the moment.
So Clare now would probably be a little bit concerned at this point. I mean, they haven't really done that much damage up front. I mean, here comes Emer Kelly to try and dispute that. And there's a nice ball into the danger area as well, and they're going for it. Oh, it could be a goal chance here, and it's blocked once, it's blocked twice, and Dublin's trying so hard to try and get it out of there. That's great defence by Dublin, but Clare will be disappointed that they didn't capitalise there, and you can see what Clare are trying to do. Anytime they get it in or around the house, it spells danger.
That was absolutely an unbelievable save there from Ciara Tierney. I don't know, did you see it? It slipped off the tip of fingers of Deirdre Johnson, and the Clare player came in to get a lovely flick, but I don't know how Ciara Tierney kept it out, but somehow it spilled across the goal and Dublin survived it. But that was nail biting so far.
You've great eyesight, you know that, Sheila. I mean, the last day you spotted Christina Troy when she dropped her hurling that, and it was about a mile away from here, and I didn't see it. You I don't know how you got how you see these things.
Well, maybe sometimes I make them up. I think I was lucky last week.
No, you definitely didn't. And I was trying to work out what was happening there. It was very, very difficult to see, but yeah, in the end, it was a goal chance for Clare that they probably should have taken.
They should have, and you nearly bet your house on it that she would have taken it. But it was just an incredibly reactive save there from Ciara Tierney. It was like something was in her head going, no, they're not getting another one. And then the dogged defence then, when the rebound came to Clare, Dublin were just absolutely not letting them in. And you could see, I think Dee actually didn't have her hurl and she was just ploughing through with her foot there. So like, that's the kind of commitment and dedication we need back there, and it's great to see it.
Now, Dublin labouring to get rid of the ball here, a mistake on the way out there, but they've still got a chance to get rid of it now. But good pressure now being applied by Clare and their forwards, and it's going to be Becky Foley coming over to take this one. She's a hockey player as well, but actually she's going to leave it instead, and it's right on the sideline, and it's Chloe Morey. She does take the free, she takes the 45s. She scored 14 before today. She's got a goal, and is it one, maybe two actually? Oh, what a brilliant strike on there as well. That's dangerous. That could have gone anywhere, and it could have actually been fired to the net as well, but Dublin awake to it again. Really dangerous ball in there, but they are so awake today in defence that you have to credit them and the management for getting them on the ball today. But Clare still go forward. It's such a fascinating contest in there in the 30th minute of the game. Cleared by O'Byrne down the right hand side, but it's gone over the end line.
Yeah, Dublin have to tidy up on those couple of things. I'm sure Chloe Murray was going for the score, of course that'll be 2 points, but Dublin did well to clear the lines there. But Murren's doing fantastically well keeping Niamh Kelly quiet.
Murren Kelleher at number 4 for Dublin.
There's no doubt about that. However, she's been a bit wasteful with the balls out, so she's driven one straight to Clare and she just hand passed that one straight over the sideline, excuse me. But and then straight out over the sideline from Emma O'Byrne. So things like that just need to be fixed, and then Dublin would have a very, very serious chance of winning this.
1-6 to 1-5, just a 1 point in it, coming up to the end of the first half, and it's Clare. Oh, brilliant work in there by Kelleher, backing up what Sheila was saying about the defensive work on Kelly. Brilliant work by Kelleher there. They've obviously realised that she is one of the danger players, and she has hardly had a look in, but this girl has had a look in. And could this be the equaliser before half time? It's not. And just going back to what you were saying, Sheila, about getting 2 points for a sideline going over the bar, you were saying that she was definitely going for it. Do you know what Clare player did it recently? I think it was Sarah Lucknan for their other team. She put it over in one of the games and she got 2 points for that. So it can be done. And I see a substitute going on there for Clare right at the end of the first half. In fact, in stoppage time, they're not waiting to half time. They've made that change already right at the end of the half. So they're very anxious to make the change. I'd have thought, why not wait to half time? But they're saying, you know what, we'll make it right away. But maybe there was an injury or something there. And it's actually Clodagh O'Halloran who started the game. She's wearing 17, but she came in and she looks disappointed to be taken off there, but she is off the Clare team. And here comes Gannon with another long range effort and another brilliant point from Gannon. She really is a super player. She did so well the last day. She got the goal against Offaly and she's contributing today, and that's after getting a bang in the arm or the head or wherever it was, and she's responded.
Yeah, brilliant. But another fantastic hook out from Ciara Tierney again, and straight to hand, no drops. Niamh Gannon turns and pops it over, like just beautiful to watch. She has such a natural strike. They talk sometimes about the Dubs not having such a natural strike, but that from Niamh Gannon was absolute poetry in motion there, beautiful.
The sub who's into the pitch now, making a big difference. That's a super ball as well from Anya O'Loughlin. Now Chloe Murray wasn't able to read it, but that for a moment looked like it could have been a goal chance. Anya O'Loughlin wearing number 20. She's the tallest player on the Clare panel, and you can see there that she was catching that ball and using that height to a great advantage. She got a goal against Kilkenny in a famous game in 2020 in the league when Clare actually beat Kilkenny, And I think that was the first time they'd ever beaten them at that level in the National League. She got a goal that day and she's into the team today. That's O'Loughlin, a switch right before the break, and I was doubting whether they should have made it then, and she's proved me wrong there and said, well, that's the impact, and it could have been a very important score. Now Morey drops it off to O'Loughlin and she fires it towards the goals, and that's really well read by Deirdre Johnson there. She knew she wasn't getting the ball, but she was going to make sure that her player didn't get it either. Dublin now trying to hang on at the end of this first half to their 2-point lead and go in the lead. But it's Clare on the offensive, and that's a brilliant block there by the captain, Hannah Hegarty. Superb work by her, and that sums Dublin are not letting Clare through.
No, it's classic Hegarty there. She read it beautifully. She was disappointed that the pass didn't go to hand. Dublin spilled it, but there was no chance there was a clean strike going to be struck there, and fair play to Hannah. Fantastic block down there.
And as I say, that sums up the first half that we had so far, and it's been very entertaining. We're in the 34th minute, and this is Chloe Morey. And a great strike by her. Oh, and there looked to be danger there, but it goes over the end line harmlessly in the end for Dublin. And I think the referee is maybe about to blow, and he is blowing his half-time whistle. 34th minute, and it's 1-7 to 1-5. And a round of applause for both teams, because that was a super first half. And I know I'm getting a little bit excited here, and we're talking a lot about Dublin, and we have to be fair to Clare. They have put in a great half as well, but Dublin definitely edged that half, Sheila, and you know, they had most of the attack and they were definitely on top in defence, and you'd be happier if you were from Dublin, certainly.
I think so. I think it certainly ebbed and flowed, but with the explosive start that Dublin had, and then to let Clare back into it, they may have been a little bit disappointed, but it's positive to see them reacting to that and coming back and notching up the few scores and not panicking. I think Ciara Tierney has given a splendid display there in goals, great leadership and communication, and you could see the first one I was talking about when Deirdre Johnson didn't catch the ball, let's say, and Ciara Tierney had to make a reactive stop. You could see that was corrected on the next ball that went in when Dee Johnson stayed down. Ciara Tierney had obviously had a word with her and say, right, this is my ball. So it's just great to see that the communication is really working back there for Dublin today. When, as I said, in my opinion, the last day, that was probably what let them down. So I'm sure Ciara is very happy with herself at the moment.
Sorry, just to interrupt you, I'm just seeing in the right corner of the screen there, I don't know if the camera can pick it up or is picking it up there, but a little bit of ice has been applied to the right shoulder. Is that Niamh Gannon there? And obviously that's from the bang she got a few minutes ago, but she looks to be in good spirits. It's not going to stop her playing on, but she is a soldier.
Absolutely, there's no stopping her. She'll continue to ice it. She'll take over the paracetamol if she needs to, but I'd say if you had to drag her off the pitch now, that's what would happen. She scored a couple of super points today, so again her confidence should be up, and you know, it's really, really good to see a Dublin team performing like this with like guts and heart and dedication, and there's a belief there that they can win it.
And skill.
And
organisation
skill
as
out
well.
there, yeah.
Some great comments coming in on our YouTube as well, actually. Celeste Corrigan, best wishes to Emer Kelly from the Manchester contingent, and Paul Plunkett, I'm not quite sure what he's saying there, maybe it's Plunkett, he says, come on Dublin. And Aileen Lawler, former president of the Camogie Association, says, very entertaining game, great skill on both sides. Well, would certainly agree with that. Keep your comments coming there on YouTube and we will read them out as we can. And there are the Clare girls taking a bit of a rest, and I don't know, I just got the feeling that in that first half that they were a little bit rocked right from the start, because Dublin really went at them. And actually it was a lovely little shot there, if our camera can pick it up. And there's a girl at the back there, about 2 or 3 rows back, and she has the American bandana on her. I wonder if our camera can go a bit closer and get her. She's over on the far side of that, if you can see her there. She's got a huge stars and stripes bandana at the back there, and we'll get her from that angle as well. And there she is.
It's actually Chloe Morey.
It is Chloe Morey, because she was born in Los Angeles in California, and she wears that. She's an American, and that's why she wears that. She's now very much from 6 Mile Bridge. She's a super player, of course, but born in America, so she wears her colours, and there she is.
She's having a super game today. Very hard to keep Chloe Morey down. Just her strength and her knowledge of the game is incredible as well. Like the way the ball comes into her, just to catch. She's missed one, and then the next one she laid it off. You know, so it's like she learns from her mistake. Everything she does, she'll kind of try something different the next time. So she's so unpredictable. Whereas on the Dublin side, then you've Kerry Finnegan, who is quite predictable. She'll catch it and turn on. You know, so there's little things like that Dublin could learn a lot from the likes of Chloe Morey. But and the unity of the Clare team as well, coming out of defence, has been phenomenal there in the second half. But it's just a really entertaining game. It's very enjoyable.
Right, we're going to bring in the Clare contingent now. We've got Breed McNamara back with us now, and Breed is with us again. And Breed, we got a lovely shot a minute ago of the American bandana, by the way, over on the far side. And that's why we were talking about Chloe Morey, apart from the fact that she's been brilliant in the first half. Anytime she's got the ball, brilliant goal from her, and that's your main threat up there. But not a lot of ball has really got up there, and the Dublin defence have been great.
Dublin defence have been superb, so they have. I think Adrian has done superb work with them. And what I'm comparing and contrasting this to is last year's championship match. And the work rate, the work ethic, the tenacity that the Dublin team have displayed in the opening 30 minutes has been absolutely superb. So it has. Aisling Maher, superb.
Do you feel that Clare are a little bit fortunate to only be 2 points?
I think we're very fortunate to only be 2 points down. Claude, unfortunately, we spoke about her before the game, Ireland's fittest family. Game that got away from her a little bit. Anya O'Loughlin is in there now to replace her. Anya, as we know, probably the tallest girl on the pitch, 6'1". So I think that Ger's plan of action will be that he'll have Anya in the full forward line and hopefully get a high ball into her. Move Chloe out to the wing, but Chloe has been a huge threat in there, so she has throughout that opening 30 minutes. As you said, when she did get ball delivered in, she was able to make good use of it.
I'm going to repeat back some of your famous quotes to you here now. You're going to be mortified, but one of them is that nice girls don't win camogie, and I think what you were getting at is that you wanted the Clare girls to toughen up a little bit, a little bit, and both teams that would apply to, I guess.
I think that applies to both teams. Dublin have come across tougher and more determined. Have so far in the game. I don't think we've gone at full tilt on it yet. And I think that we have to, if we want to retain our Division 1 status.
And why do you think that is? Is it because of Dublin's tenacity?
I think, Dublin have really attacked this game, so they have much more so than Clare. And I think that maybe that has even caught Clare on the hop, that there may be cobwebs from last October in the mind still. But like a lot of the Clare players, as we mentioned earlier, would actually know Adrian and would have been coached by him, managed by him in UL. So they should be aware of what he brings to a panel.
Well, he certainly brought a lot of organisation from their last game a few weeks ago. They've improved so much since then, and you can tell that the way they're backing each other up in defence as well. They have a new goalkeeper in there. I mean, her puck out that led to the goal, which was a fabulous goal.
Her puck out. Like, when I saw that Faye McCarthy wasn't starting, I was kind of going, whoa, because Faye, from watching her a couple of years back, like, for the goalie to end up in the top 5 in the top scorer of the championship is a phenomenal achievement, so it is. So when you see Faye isn't on, I was a bit taken aback, but I have to say her replacement, that puck out, like, it's down into Clare's danger area. So
it was an assist straight to the goal
superb,
scorer, you know.
Absolute superb.
I've got another one of your famous quotes here. You're going to love this one. He said, I wasn't able to hurl spuds. Now, could you explain to me what that means? You were talking about your own sporting prowess as a camogie player. What's this about hurling spuds?
It's just a Clare saying.
No, I'm only joking.
I was useless, okay?
I know what you mean. Well, you seem to list things from your career, but it was more injuries that you got, broken arms, broken wrists, broken legs, rather than like All Ireland medals, All Stars. It was like, but you were obviously, you certainly didn't need to toughen up.
No, I got a fair whack of it on the pitch, so I did, Jerome, a fair whack of it.
But you know, that's what's going to win this game in the second half.
I think that's what's going to win this in the second half for either side. For either side, it's going to be toughness, and it's going to be mental toughness as well as physical toughness. Because I think neither side would have wanted to be in this situation, and they're both in it, and it's whoever wants it the most is going to come out with the win at the end of it.
There's a great confrontation we were talking about before the game, and it's Jodie Couch, she's only about 19 years old, against Niamh O'Dea. And it's a great contest, and early on it was Jodie Couch was winning it, and Niamh came right back into it, but that could be crucial, do you think, in the second half?
I think it could, and I think that Dublin really got off to a flying start, so they did. They were 4 points up to no score.
There were 6 points up.
Yeah, and then Clare, Robin Conway's Clare put over that point, and then you had the Dublin goal. Superb. I mean, you could see it from the minute she caught the ball. There was only one thing in front of her eyes, and that was a green flag. And the way she drove through the Clare defence, it was very telling. And if Dublin attack the second half the way they did the first half, I think it'll be crucial. Clare will need to be on their guard because they know now how Dublin will approach that second half.
I've just realised that you're trying to lull us into this. You know rightly Clare are going to come back, up their game in the second half and win by 10 points.
I sincerely hope so.
Yeah, but I mean, they're such a dangerous team. You know, they definitely still have a really strong threat in there. But, you know, apart from the tenacity, what else do you see them doing? Will they maybe be tempted at some stage, for example, to bring Chloe Morey out the field a little bit if they need to get a few more scores or they need to get more of a grip on the game?
Yeah, I think with Anya O'Loughlin being introduced there just before the half-time break, that's given, if you like, the room to move Chloe out a little bit. Emer Kelly has been having quite a good game for herself there in the half-back line. But it's all to play for, like we said, in the next 30 minutes. It's a huge 30 minutes for both sides.
Absolutely. All right, thanks a million, Breed, for joining us. We'll talk to you at the end of the game. That's Breed McNamara, the PRO for Clare, and a good insight from her from a Clare point of view, because I was wondering if I was imagining it that Dublin were the best team in the first half, but she reaffirmed that and said that Clare are a little bit worried, but there's lots more in the Clare tank, and we're going to see what they're made of in the second half as the referee John Dermody from the Loughlin Gales Club in Westmeath throws the ball in and we get going. It's 1-7 to 1-5 for Dublin, and there's 6-7 players in there getting tore in. We talked about tenacity, and look at the determination there from Becky Foley to win that ball, and she was very physical in there and making sure that she won it. But that's great work again in there. Is that Johnston in there again? Yeah. What a game she's having. She's been absolutely brilliant, and so has Maher. And that was actually Whelan over on the far side. That was Aoife Whelan. Now Kerry Finnegan's in there. She goes up for it. Oh, and it's broken nicely for Dublin. There is a chance of a goal here. Oh, what an effort. And it's thrown straight into the net, and it is Aoife Whelan from Castleknock right at the start of the second half. And Sheila in the Kutcher right beside me waves her fist in the air because she knows that's a great start to the second half for the Dubs. They're 2-7 to 1-5. What a start to the second half.
That is a vital score for Dublin to start the second half with, because Clare were going to come out guns a-blazing. So brilliant to get that score to settle the nerves at the start of the second half.
Game on, and it's Clare. They got back into the game. They were 6 points down. They got it back to 1 point. Now it's 5 again all of a sudden. And they seem to be making soundings at the start of the second half that they knew they were going to up this game, but if they thought it was going to be easy, they've got another thing coming.
That was brilliant. But even just there now, it's Clare's turn to be taking those silly snapshots. I mean, she was surrounded by 3 Dublin players and still tried to strike it. So that's the kind of panic Dublin are instilling now in Clare with that goal. Did she mean it? Was she going for a point? I don't know. Did it loop
Sheila,
in? I'm just trying to, as a keeper.
Well, I was thinking that, but then she hit it actually quite a bit under the bar, so she would need to hit it quite badly. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt there because she hit the net.
Let's do that, because as a keeper, it's never nice to be loved.
Robin Conway at the other end getting a point back, and Clare get it back to 4, and they really needed to do that. But yeah, I think she got it. I think she meant it, and I'm more thinking that I have a GoPro camera right on that side of the goals as well, so I was hoping that she hit the camera, even got a nice shot of that. We'll maybe see if we could have that shot later on, but certainly it went in the net. That's the important thing. And she read it really well, didn't she? Because Kerry Finnegan went up for it and didn't get it, and you thought that's the attack gone. But in the first half, a lot of the balls bounced off Finnegan and they didn't profit. But that one, it just fell perfectly. And
it's great to see it, because a lot of the time we don't chase those balls in, and I'm constantly harping on about it. So it was really good. It was a great block down from the Clare fullback, and we thought the danger was gone. But in fairness to Whelan, she did take it on, and it did open up for her. So I'm going to say she definitely meant to stick it in the top right hand corner, and she absolutely did that with gusto. She did. It was a super finish, and there's no point in having a target player in there if you don't sort of get the ball or get in and support her. Now there's a free there for Clare, and the referee's not happy about that, and the challenge came in. Grania Quinn, I think it's again, like I said in the first half, she just seemed sluggish or something. That even the way she approached that ball, it was nearly like she was going digging. The hand should have gone down there, spilled off her hurl. and then she went in with a lazy challenge. Do you know? So I don't know. I'd like to see her come, maybe getting more ball and build up the confidence a little bit more. But she doesn't seem to have gotten onto too much ball today, and perhaps that's the problem.
But it's Clare in general trying to exert a bit more pressure here because they know that they need to get back in this game. Now there's only 4 points in it, and we're only 4 minutes into the second half, so it's early days. But Clare, I think, realise at this point that they've got a heck of a challenge here today, and they need to get motoring. And is this the start of it? Really good strike by Chloe Murray, and she gets it back to 3-point game.
Yeah, it's difficult anywhere there from the halfway line up. Even their own 65, Chloe Murray's going to be danger on the freeze, so Dublin will have to cut that kind of stuff out. And they really need another score now.
I think the referee's holding it up. I think there's
Julia
flag.
Buckley, I think,
is it a substitution?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Niamh Gannon's come off. Yeah, because we saw her at half time with the bang, but obviously she's had to retire, unfortunately. And Julie Buckley is at number 26.
Yeah.
Is in, and she came in the last day as well. She's from the Kilmacud Crooks club, although I noticed on a list yesterday it had her down as Skerry's Harps, but she's definitely not. She's definitely Kilmacud.
Definitely Crooks. I'll be glad she won't be playing in the morning, actually, let's put it that way.
But very disappointing that Gannon has to go up, but obviously that bang means that she isn't able to continue, but she's made a great contribution, as has Aoife Whelan, and here comes Aoife again and plays it low and dangerously in there, and she was looking for Maher in there and it didn't make it. Oh, but this is good for Dublin again, and no, they got it from that clearance, but that's two wasteful efforts towards goal that have both dropped short from a Dublin point of view, and it's Clare who can clear their lines and break out of defence as well. And who's that with a red helmet over there? Sorry, I'm not quite sure who it is. I'll tell you in a second. Oh, of course, it's Alana Ryan in the red helmet. Now the ball is up the other end of the field, and there's Buckley getting in immediately and shipping a tough challenge, and it's broken nicely for Clare. The crowd around me getting very animated in there because it's getting a little bit spicy out there. And that's a great clearance by Tierney. She's looking for Finnegan, and Finnegan does brilliantly because the Clare players, two of them there, looked favourite, and instead it was Finnegan. That's what you need to see from your full forward. She came out and won it. She fires it into the full forward area where she usually is, but Clare this time have quelled that attack, and that's good work by Maura McGrath. And the game now is in the balance. It's going from end to end, and this is where Dublin were a few weeks ago when they were 6 points up against Offaly, and they faded a little bit in the last 20 minutes or so of the game, but this time they don't look like fading, and maybe they've learned their lesson. But that's good work there by Claire Hare, the captain for Clare, to come out and get that ball, and that's 4 balls from Dublin in the forwards in the last few minutes that haven't made any hay at all. And it's Clare at the other end and going for a score, and it goes wide. But Dublin, Sheila, just when they're going into the attack, there's a lot of balls and they're just a little bit aimless in there and they're not getting anywhere.
It's disappointing. A couple of efforts there from Aoife Whelan, and you think her confidence would have been up there after the goal, but I don't think she struck them cleanly at all. Kerry Finnegan did amazingly well to win the ball, but there was actually very little options up ahead then because Dublin have dropped a little bit now in the second half to protect the lead. I don't know if that tactic is going to work.
And Murray now chasing that, but it goes over the end line. And yeah, I was given a comparison there with a few weeks ago against Offaly. At this time of the game, they get ahead. They were 5 points ahead at the start of this half. They were 6 points ahead against Offaly. What is it about the mentality at this point that they really need to get right?
It's just composure, I think. It's composure. This kind of thing has to be cut out. We have to get the decent ball into the forwards. Clare will be disappointed with their own effort there at the last wide, but both teams maybe are just too eager to get the next score. Do you know what I mean? So it's just getting
there's yet
a little
another
bit panicked.
clearance that has gone straight to 2 Clare players. Every ball is going to a Clare player at the minute. It's like they're striking it, but they're not picking out their teammates. And there's Murray trying to benefit at the other end, and that's what happens. And Clare get a point back, and it's a 2-point game.
Yeah, and you know, you put money on Chloe Murray putting that over the bar. It was a great ball in. You know, even it was a 50-50, yet still, Chloe Morey comes out with it every time. Just an unbelievable Midas touch there. She always catches it. She rarely fumbles, you know what I mean? So,
but I guess when you're a young player as well and you get a bit of space, you're going to try and drive the ball as far as you can. But she drove it straight to an area where there was 2 Clare players, and Clare cleaning up here now around the half-back area every time, and they are very much on top, and Nivudi is going to try and rush over and take that quickly, and they've got it back from a 5-point game to a 2-point game, and now the momentum is all with Clare, and they are looking for Kelly. Now Kelly's been quite quiet, and Kelleher is with her, and Kelleher does a number on her again there, and that's super work from her. She read it well, although to be fair, I think Kelly was just a little bit unlucky in not being able to catch the ball in the first way through, but there's great work from Clare on that occasion to turn it over. That's super play by them. They are trying to get into gear here. There's 2 points in it, and that's the sort of ball and sort of turnover that they will need. And now it's Orla Duggan, the midfielder, and number 11, very strong in there, is Becky Foley, and she puts it over the bar. It's a super score from her. The centre half forward gets it back to a 1-point game, but that all came from a brilliant turnover in the middle of the field, diving in to win the ball, and it was the girl right out in the middle, white helmet in the middle of the field. I'm trying to see what number she is because I want to give her a bit of credit for that, and it was her number 9. It was Zian Spillane, and she was the one who won the ball that led to that score.
Incredible score from Clare. Great unity, great patience, and then super side step there from Becky Foley, and she drove it over the bar, and that's what they need, and that'll settle them hugely now. I think Dublin have their backs to the wall now. They need to get a point to settle, something to settle them down, and get some decent ball into the forwards. But in fairness, Clare's work rate in the forward line have put Dublin backs under serious pressure, and hence the balls coming out are just not up to scratch. So it's more about Clare's intense pressure, I think, than Dublin actually not performing.
Morey has come all the way out to hit this. I mean, surely she's not going for a score from there. There's not that much of a breeze of any. Well, there is a little bit. If you look at the flag on the far side, there is a bit. Is she really going from this from well inside her own? She is going for. If you say she is, she is. Yeah. Oh my goodness, she's got the distance and she got the accuracy. What a monster point from Chloe Morey. Brilliant, brilliant score. And now the scores are level.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, even on their own 65, I said we need to be careful about giving frees away. She's just absolutely incredible on them. Her strength is phenomenal, and then the accuracy just to boot is that's a huge score for Clare now.
Leah Butler has come off the Dublin team. The number 9 from St Jude's has been replaced, and I think the substitute is Aisling Carlin from St Oliver Plunkett's, the veteran player. She's been coming on as a sub in all of the games, and she's been sent in now at a very, very important time for this game, and Dublin need a little bit of inspiration or someone to at least settle them down a little bit, or even to take a water break, which is still 4 minutes away at this point. The scores are level, but they've had a 5-point lead, and since that goal they haven't scored or haven't looked like scoring, and there's Julia Buckley going for that, but it's Clare, as I said before, winning every ball around this area now, and they are definitely the team on top. And that's Foley there, and she shows good composure and strength and gets the ball moving and gets it up to Kelly. And now Kelly's been crowded there, and the referee, I think, is going to throw that one in. And Kelly 1-5 so far, a goal against Limerick. And she was the top scorer in the Clare Championship in 2019, but Dublin have been really tight on her today. And look at Foley, she shows such strength in there, and she puts herself around and trying to win that ball, and it's still in there to be won, and Foley is still digging in there and trying to get that one, and that's good work there by Kelly, and Kelly does well from Buckley to win it and win it for her teammates, and that's the way the game's going at the minute. Clare winning every 50-50 or even a 40-60, they're winning everything, but that ball goes over the line and it'll be a Dublin ball. But you'd be concerned if you were from Dublin, but Clare seem to have got their act together. They've
got their act together, and I think you're seeing more what the Clare PRI was talking about what this means, and neither team want to play that match against Waterford. They both want to win it, but at the moment it's Clare that's kind of showing that with their play and determination at the moment.
Yeah, they're just winning the 50-50s over most of the pitch, and they're winning all the breaks as well. So
that's the frustrating part, is the puck out is coming out. It's lovely to a Dublin player, but the Clare players are coming and surrounding that, where the Dublin players aren't coming to support. So
and
it's definitely a little bit frustrating.
Even though that was a great catch there by Flanagan and trying to link up the play, but the Dubs are trying. Here comes Hannah Hegarty, the captain. That's what they need, a little bit of leadership from the leader, and that's great work by Finnegan. She took that beautifully in her stride, and she's trying to get off on a run. She wins the free, and that is a lovely bit of inspirational play, not just by Finnegan, but by the captain, Hannah Hegarty.
And that's why she's the captain. I think she just unbelievable leadership and just settles just kind of shows this is how it's done. Like a lovely crossfield ball now. Aisling Mara was calling for it. Kerry made the run forward. It was actually a beautiful piece of play, and well won free by Kerry there.
And will this be Dublin's first score of the second half in the 14th minute of the half? They've had a goal and they finally got a point, and it's Mara, of course, from St Vincent's. Dublin sneak back in front. Clare have not been ahead in the entire game, but there's a long way to go, and they have been playing extremely well in the second half. The Banner County, and there's a pull on it overhead from Robin Conway, and they still have a lot of danger in there from players like Maura McGrath and Morey and Emer Kelly and Becky Foley and Conway, just all of them really. They're great forwards in there, and you just know that they still will have a say in this game. And it's another Dublin ball over on that far side. Coming up to water break time, Dublin 1 point ahead.
The puck out was interesting there, what I was saying about Clare swarming the Dublin puck out under the ball. Two Dublin players were there and neither of them went for it, that puck out. So, you know, there is a difference there. We need to get that bit between our teeth, that the hunger and desire to win the ball, instead of just hoping that it'll break for us.
And here Clare intercepting again. They just seem to have a number on them, and look at this ball into the forwards. There's three Dublin players there, but it's the Clare player who gets out and wins it. And that's great work by Kelly. As she put that over, she's got a great strike on her, and that was a brilliant score by Kelly to level the game again. And she is finally coming into her own as we come up towards the water break. And in fact, it is the water break. There's a Dublin player down, and the referee, I think, is saying, well, let's just take a break right there. But a brilliant score from Kelly to level it. We really have quite a game on here.
We really do, and that was a sublime score really from Kelly. She showed great speed, and from a Dublin point of view, it was disappointing that there was two or three of them around, but she made it to the ball and had time to turn and had time to strike it over. Now, in fairness to Murren, she went over on the ankle there, I think, or her calf was at her, so I don't think she was hurt. But that's not to take away from super score, super ball in as well. And they knew Kelly had the legs, and she showed her skill and accuracy there with a fine point. So it's anyone's game. It's whoever wants it most, but. From water break perspective, again, I think Dublin would be glad of it at this point, rather than, Clare were kind of beginning to motor again. I know they conceded the free there, but they are certainly on top for me at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Kelleher is not going to continue. She seems to be in a lot of bother out there. So the number 4 for Dublin from St Vincent's looks like she might need to be replaced. Although, as I'm saying that, she seems to be trying to hobble and trying to see if she can continue. And there's a physio talking to her, so it remains to be seen. But it doesn't look too good. But it was almost like in that last point there, she tried to turn, and maybe her ankle or something. Maybe she had a little bit of difficulty there. Yeah. She seems to be staying on the sideline.
No. Yeah.
Hegarty, the captain, is having a word with her. No, she seems to be going to go back on.
I think that's a dangerous decision with the threat that Clare have. I would, any kind of a niggle there.
No, she's off. Yeah. She's off. She's taking the helmet off, and I think she wanted to continue, but she's been told,
Orla Gray is in there, I think.
Yeah.
So,
well, Orla Gray, I think, started the last game in that position as well from the Fianna, so she will come in wearing number 28, and she's going to get on the ball right away because the goalkeeper Ciara Tierney has found her from that puck out, and she's on the ball right away. Oh, and she just delayed a little bit there, and that comes, I suppose, when you're thrown straight in there.
Yeah, there was a bit of a lack of support there as well coming through. There wasn't much movement off the shoulder. I know she was the corner back, but somebody should have been there. And she just fell the ball in the end. But
it sort of sums up a wee bit the way things are going and the way Dublin are at the minute. They're a wee bit sort of lost out there. you feel?
Just something hasn't clicked now in the second half, and it needs to click quickly, because no doubt Murray's going to put this over and to give Clare the lead for the first time. So again, confidence boosting.
Is it a crazy thing to suggest that the goal actually was a bad thing for Dublin?
Well, I suppose it's not really, considering they went so far ahead the last time against Offaly, and then they threw it away, so.
But I'm just saying they didn't kick on. It was almost like they had arrived. Sometimes you say you get a goal too early, and it wasn't really indicative of the way the game was going, because then Clare raised their game and Dublin didn't quite seem to know what to do. So they had a 5-point lead, but they weren't able to capitalise on it. It's Clare now, as I say, winning every ball, and indeed they've won another one out there, and as a Dublin player is down, and she looks to be in a little bit of bother out there as well, I'm afraid to say, and the referee has got his little book out. I'm not quite sure why, but he's taken the number as well of the Dublin player, and the player looks to be injured, and it looks to be a free for Clare. And is he maybe going to book her when she gets up as well? Is it Jodie Couch, I think?
It's Jodie Couch. Well, I see Ali Toomey was in there over on the half-forward line, so I think Aoife Whelan might have made way there, and I definitely think that they needed fresh legs in the half-forward line.
Well, I see Roisin Baker has been warmed up, number 29 from Nafena, and she looks like she might be coming into the place where she could be the fresh legs. She's playing around the middle of the field.
I think they need something. They need something fresh in the forward line. It's hard when such a lack of ball going in, like a decent ball. You do lose a bit of faith, a bit of belief, and I think that's evident in the way the girls are coming out to attack the ball, to win it. We're just not winning possession in the forward line.
Clare have gone ahead for the first time in this game. It is 112 rather, which is 15 to 2-8, which is 14. So Clare 1 point up, but this is good work by Dublin trying to quell the attack of Deirdre Johnson.
Could have taken a quick free there and caught a load of the Clare players up, but we're not used to that.
And I see now Zian Spillane, the number 9 for Clare, actually seems to be picking up Jodie Couch rather than Niamh O'Dea picking her up, which maybe frees up Niamh in there, and maybe they think that Spillane will have the legs for Jodie as well. And there's another wasteful ball from Dublin, which has gone straight to Maura McGrath. They've given it straight to the 2014 All-Star. And you don't want to be giving the ball to All-Stars at this point. Clare have 2 of them out there, and here come Dublin now. This is better from Dublin, and it's good work by, is that Buckley? Or Gray. Actually, no, it's Orla Gray who's out there, 28. Buckley's 26. That's good work by her.
Very good, and very good work from Ashton Carlin there to win that ball back. Great determination, because it was a poor free in. Just didn't have the legs to reach the corner forward, but was too hard for the half forward. So, you can't blame the players on such a kind of high stakes game to be making mistakes like that. There's a lot of pressure, I suppose, but we'll see how Ashton gets on with this free.
Dublin 1 point down in the 50th minute. She's been very accurate so far, and she's been accurate again.
Very important again. Fair play to her, yeah. Very important score for Dublin, just to keep it level, and it can go either way here. But if Dublin could get another score and pin Cork back a little bit, it'd be very
here's
important.
What I was talking about, the room now for Niamh O'Dea, because Jodie Couch is being marked by Spillane, and they're trying to maybe free up O'Dea, and she got it straight from the puck out, and Clare are now able to build. It's Ciara Grogan, number 2, and there's Foley again, showing good awareness and good skill and good strength, but Dublin managed to get the ball over the line there, and that was Emma O'Byrne, who also looks to be hobbling a little bit, but she is soldiering on, and I think they're going to bring on, is that maybe Gabby Couch, maybe Jodie's twin sister? They're maybe going to try and bring her on for Dublin. Or no, it's Roisin Baker, 29, 25. Yeah, 25 is Couch. So it looks like Dublin going to make 2 more changes. They made a lot of changes the last day, and they might be going to make a lot of more changes today. But back on the pitch, that's another score from Kelly. And Kelly is coming into her own in this game, and it's Clare back in front by a point. And one Couch goes on, one Couch goes off. and Nicoletti's off as well. So 2 changes in the forwards for Dublin.
I think it's probably frustrating for Clare. The ball didn't really go into her too much, and
she got one great score at the start.
Super, but I mean the instruction probably is stay in and be patient, and it's very hard. How are you going to prove your ability, or when the ball's not going into you? So I don't know. It's probably a little bit harsh there on Clare, but
looks like there's maybe going to be a booking, because the referee John Dermody, well, he certainly had a word about it. I didn't see a card over there, but he seemed to be having a word. Is that Kelleher over there maybe?
It's Orla Gray.
Orla Gray, over on that far side, yeah. And is that Kelly who's down actually? She got the score, but maybe she got a crack on the wrist or something, as well, or the elbow or something. Yeah, she seems to be holding her elbow there, so she got a score to put Clare ahead, but she maybe took a heavy challenge in there. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it's 22 minutes gone and it's 113 to 2-9, 16 to 15 for Clare in this relegation playoff. The winners will not have another game in the league, but the losers will have another chance next week against Waterford. And Kelly's okay, she'll play on. And we have a message from Laura Toomey on YouTube on the live chat there, and she says, up the Dubs. Plenty of support for Dublin, and here they come. The last day against Offaly, they finished quite poorly. Are they going to change that today? Oh, there's Maher. She has answered that question with a brilliant effort from Clay, and that's exactly what they needed, and it's all square again.
Great leadership there from Aisling Maher. Took it on, a bit of miscommunication from Clare, and she pounced on it, and there was no way she was missing that one. But brilliant leadership from Aisling there, just to nudge Dublin back into the level terms.
Oh, what a brilliant piece of play there by number 20, Anya O'Loughlin, the tallest player on the Clare team. She reached up and caught that from the puck out and put it over the bar and made it look easy. A brilliant score for Clare. They're back in front.
Just as I was saying, Dublin, I just love to see Dublin get 2 scores on the trot. Every time they come back, Clare get an immediate point, and I think it's a telling factor in this, and the hunger that Clare have to win this relegation battle.
Well, look at the catch you saw there from O'Loughlin, and right from the puck out there, Spillane, the number 9, she's quite small, but she reached up and won that ball for her team there. 2 brilliant catches in about 20 seconds. One got a score and one got them possession. In fact, it could well be another score, because Murray has put one out, or one over the bar from even further than this, and she's right in front as well. So the money would be on her again, and she has put that over the bar, and that's now a 2-point lead for the first time for Clare in this game, and it's now 115 to 210. 2-point lead for Dublin, and it's looking ominous because Clare are winning all of the exchanges. Yeah, they just can't get the ball, Dublin, for love nor money, even when they look favourites to get it. But hold on, maybe they have managed to get it on this occasion, but they've so many subs on there, and sometimes I thought this the last day, that maybe you can make too many changes, but they're going for goal anyway, and there's a ball straight to another Clare player who reads it better and wins it in there. I'm not quite sure who it was in there, but it was well played and a little bit easy for Clare in there, and the Dublin balls have just been pucked in there with no great rhyme nor reason, and Clare clearing their lines, and that is Sinead Conlon, number 19 for Clare, and gets it all the way up to Murray, and Murray has time to turn. She wins the ball, she offloads it, and that's O'Loughlin again. She thinks about it, thinks better of it, puts the ball back out the field, but it's going to be a turnover. That's well worked there by Baker, and Baker picks it up for Dublin. Midfielder is Emma Flanagan there, number 8. She gets fouled, and that's a free for Dublin, and it's a good bit out the pitch, and Maher will come out to take it, and if ever you needed her to be accurate, this is the time, because there's 2 points in it and there's only a few minutes left. It's a bit of an ask for her to score from all the way out there, though.
A little bit, but you never know. You might get the rub of the green. It might drop in under the crossbar even.
I like your positivity. Yeah. And you're usually on the ball, so I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen. So it's Maher, number 15, the vice captain. they need a score. They need it badly. It's going to drop in, and it is dropping under the posts, but it's well cleared by the Clare defence. And they just boot it clear. Anywhere will do, and it's Clare who have really upped their game in this second half, as we suspected that they might. And that's a good shortening of the stick there, and brilliant work by Foley. And Foley gets it, and Foley wins it. She's had a super second half. She's really come into her own in the second half, Rebecca Foley. And yet another free for Clare. They've gone from 5 points down to 2 ahead.
Soon to be 3, I'd imagine, but and of course Chloe's under no rush there anyway, eating away at the clock. I suppose that's a bit of experience there as well. Dublin really need to win the next puck out though and create something decent. It's a bit helter-skelter in there. I think the subs that have come on are just nearly over trying and make an impact, and it's not going to hand. It just needs to relax a little bit. Oh
my goodness. Ring the newsroom. Call the newsroom. She's missed one. That's a surprise from Maury. Now there's a sub has gone on for Clare. It's 23, and that's Bridging Deenan. And she is into the play. Interesting messages come in on the live chat. I think it was in support of Clare. It is. Celeste Corrigan says, "Come on, Clare." And there was another one there that I'm trying to access as well. I'll come back to that if I get it. And the Clare player coming off is Maura McGrath. Now, Kelly has got it for Clare, but she's been hooked in there by Grania Quinn. But this has come from Dublin struggling to get rid of the ball, and Foley has capitalised and fired it over, and Dublin are fading. Clare are on the rise, and they now lead by 3 as Dublin send on yet another sub, and this time it is Aoife Walsh from St Jude's.
That was unfortunate. Grania Quinn slipped there on the short puck out, but that's always the danger with the short puck outs, isn't it?
Now Dublin at the other end. They need inspiration. They need a goal. They need something, and they need it quickly, because we're in the 29th minute and the free has been given against them by the referee John Dermody, and it looks like it's going to be Clare's day at this point.
It does, and in fairness, I think Clare have been more clinical. Their passing has been better, their balls into the forwards have been better, and I think their hunger in the second half has outshone Dublin's, unfortunately.
Dublin are not giving up though, and that's good support play coming off the shoulder. Oh, and that pass just went astray there from Hegarty. Tough challenge going in there, and the referee has got his whistle near his mouth, but he's not blowing it, he's letting it go, and he's saying play on. And Clare are playing on. Foley's there, but good interception there by O'Byrne for Dublin. Now the referee will bring it back. The players look a little bit confused, so Emma Flanagan, or rather Orla Duggan out there, is questioning the referee, but he has given a free to Dublin, to Marr. We're in the 30th minute of this relegation playoff. I would fancy that Marr, the vice-captain for Dublin, might want to drop this around the danger area and hope that they can scramble a goal from somewhere and level this one right at the death. Actually, she's given it lots of welly, and it is dropping in there. Oh, and it could have gone all the way to the net, but it's been intercepted on the line, and Dublin working the ball back out, but they've worked it a little bit too high, and it's been intercepted, and it's Clare coming away with it. But Dublin just getting a little bit of momentum up in the last few minutes, and Clare dropping quite deep. But intercepted there by Alana Ryan. That's good work by her, but Dublin might still have a chance, and that's Marr on her left side, but Clare have more players back in there, and that was really well read as well. Oh, that's fantastic work for Clare just when they needed it, and she punches her fist in the air as well, and the referee mightn't be happy with that. Actually, no, he doesn't care. He's letting that go, and that's good work. Was it O'D in there? I think it was. He read it and burst out of defence, and that was good work by her.
Superb leadership there from Niamh O'D, and at this stage of the game to be running like that is a testament to the fitness and the work that Clare have done on the running field, I suppose. Bit of afters that the ref didn't spot, but
yeah,
I suppose
saw that. Yeah,
I'll keep my mouth shut and we'll move on.
32nd minute of the game, and we might have a couple of more minutes left yet to play. 1:16 plays, 2:10, a 3-point lead. Is that going to be a 4-point lead? And Morey is back on top. 4 points in it, and that might be the insurance score for Clare, because there's not long left, and now Dublin would need at least 2 scores. Oh, and that's well won again, and it's Clare getting to it from the puck out, and it was a D again, but Dublin, well, they win it and then they throw it away again. And the referee seems to be giving a free in there. Sheila, what was that for?
She dropped the hurl. So obviously you used to be allowed to do that, and now you're not allowed anymore. I don't know that actually she dropped it that intentionally as such, but he spotted it, and has to be going for goal here. It just has to drop in, and the Dublin corner forwards and full forward have to be alert to the bat out.
Maher now for Dublin. 4 points down, 33rd minute, or maybe she'll say we'll get a point and try and get a goal from the puck out, because we definitely will need another score. In the meantime, Emer Kelly has been replaced by Shifra Connell. Yeah, she's going for her point. She takes her point, so goal in it. Might still be a few seconds left for Dublin to win this, go for goal. It's a big ask though. The Clare goalkeeper, Durran Murphy, is taking her time and will fire it as far as she can up the field and drops it well over the halfway, and the substitute goes for it. That's Deenan, I think, is in there. Yeah, but it's Dublin who win it. Maybe there will be one more twist in the tail, because Kerry Finnegan has come out really well and won it. And she's trying to get past her Clare, but goes over the end line with it. And the referee is overruled?
No, he's given a free in. I think she's pulled back there.
There's still drama here in Birr in this Division 1 relegation playoff. It's tense and it is nervous, and that's only just with Sheila Nakutcher beside me here. Aisling Maher now, we're right behind her, and she has got a chance here now in the 34th minute with Dublin 3 points down. Surely she's not going for a point. No, she goes low. She fires it low. It's been intercepted by the yellow jerseys in there. I can't see who exactly has it, but there's about 10 players in there trying to find the slither, and the referee eventually has given a free out for Clare, and they're delighted with that decision. And he says that there was a pick-up off the ground, I think.
Fair play to him, with that many people in there, and he knew whose hand touched the ball on the ground. But Clare have it, and it'll be very interesting to see how much more is going to be added.
Well, there were a few stoppages and there was the water break, but I'd say this could well be it. I'm watching the referee. Well, he's not looking at his watch, so there is still time, and maybe one more play, and a brilliant catch by the captain, Hannah Hegarty. And that's a great ball up into the forwards as well. Dublin looking like they might have another sting in the tail, and it's Gabby Couch in there, and she gets it to Maher, and she puts her head down. She knows she has to go for goal, and that's exactly what she's doing. She sets off. She's surrounded by yellow jerseys, and she's been gobbled up in there, and it's Clare who get back in numbers, but Dublin desperately trying to salvage this. Oh, and that's great work again, and they will have a free. Surely that's a free for Dublin, not given, and then that will be free out for that challenge, and Dublin were disappointed, but right at the end, John Dermody blows, and they could certainly claim that that should have been a free in, but the way that the game has been going, they mightn't have been able to get a goal in there anyway, but it's ended in victory for Clare. Disappointment for Dublin right at the death. 3 points in it at the end. 117 to 211. That's 20 plays 17. An almighty battle here in St Brendan's Park in Birr, and it means that Clare are going to stay in Division 1. They've got the job done eventually after one heck of a battle here against a really brave and spirited Dublin team, and you can see that they're very, very disappointed coming off, but in the second half Clare really stepped up to the mark, and Sheila, you have to give it to them.
Absolutely, I know. I have to put hands up. I think in the second half Clare showed who they were and what they were about and what it meant to them, and I think I don't think Dublin underperformed in the second half. I just don't think Clare let them play. It was a huge performance in the second half from Clare. As Breed had said, they would come out, and like we said in the first half, maybe they came out, maybe underestimated Dublin a little bit, but they showed great experience, great composure to get themselves back into the game and to grind out the victory. But like their interplay, their unity, their knowing where their forwards were, sometimes without even looking, like Dublin just don't seem to have that yet. But it'll come, like there's still a lot of positives there for the Dublin side. It's not all doom and gloom. They have another match to play, and they have another match under their belt going in to meet Waterford. So, I'd be very, very hopeful and almost confident that Dublin could get a win out of it, and they can't leave their heads down too long now. Just get back to the grindstone and go at it again, because today again 2-11, it's a fine return for a team that only scored 6 points in their first game.
Would you be concerned from a Dublin point of view that for 2 games in a row they've had a big lead and both times they've lost it at important points in the game? Yes, they've done incredibly well to get there and they started the game really well today, but is there something that is going to come back halfway through second halves of games where they're thinking, we're not going to win this, they just seem to lose their way? I don't know if you can put your finger on that.
I suppose it comes down to kind of mental strength and belief and stuff like that, and the belief, I always have said that comes from training and off the pitch train, as in your own time training and building your own belief, and then on the training pitch with the team that you're seeing what other players are doing and you're believing in them. It's hard to tell. It has to be a mental resilience, though. They have to see that they're good enough and that they're able to do it. But at the moment, you're right, it's a bit of a worry, but like at the end of the day, it's a game of camogie. 6 points is nothing. Do you know that kind of a margin can be overturned 2 pucks of a ball, and we kind of saw that today. And then once Clare got their tails up, Dublin were under constant pressure from then on.
Now we're joined by Breed McNamara, and she is the PRO for Clare, and it's a heck of a camogie county. I think they've 28 clubs in Clare, and it says in their Twitter feed bio, Clare's largest female sporting group. It means a lot to people in Clare, and I can see, Breed, from you that you're very emotional at the end of this, and it means a lot to you for Clare to come through and win that game. Can you explain that?
I can, yeah. I'm sorry, I know you've said I'm emotional, and I think that to be in this position, and this applies to Dublin as much as it applies to Clare, neither team want to be here. I think due to the health situation we've endured over the last 18 months, this is why we're in this situation, due to the way fixtures have gone, and that to come out of it with the win. When we spoke at half time, you said that Clare were going to spring something in the second half. It was actually Dublin sprung it with that goal. Excuse me, right at the restart, and I will be honest with you, my heart sank, and I thought, can we do it? Like, can we pull this out of the bag? And to see the way they dug deep, and I have to mention her, Chloe Morey, those 3 frees, like from inside her own half to land them, superb. And I think that actually is what got us over the line for a finish, and that belief, the belief that she had in herself that she could land them, the belief that the management had to bring her out, and the belief in her teammates of her as well. So their belief in themselves got them over the line.
But why does it mean that much to you? We're not even talking championship at this point, Breed.
No, I think it's just, you want to always be playing at the very top tier. So you do. You want to be playing if you think that you're part of being the best, you want to be playing with the best.
Yeah, but I also think you're just so proud of those girls.
I can't wait to go down there, and I'm fully vaccinated, so I am going to give them a hug. I definitely am going to give them a hug.
When you look at the likes of Zian Spillane, and she caught a ball in the middle of the field, you look at Becky Foley.
Well, I'd say if any of our teachers are watching, they're going, please don't try and catch the ball in your hands, Zian, because you've exams again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. I think that, like, as you say, the way she caught the ball in her hand, like, fearless, wanted to win the ball and just wanted to win for herself and for her teammates. I saw players putting up their hands, and from both sides, not just from the Clare side, but from both sides, putting their hand up in, well, I certainly wouldn't be willing to put my hand that close to a hurley, especially when it's coming at me at speed.
How did you get all those injuries years ago? It must have been from putting your hand up there. But seriously, but you're obviously just so proud of those girls. But you must think that they're your daughters.
Well, they do send me text messages on Mother's Day, as I'm their camogie mammy, as they say. But yeah, I think the chairperson of the board, Joe O'Donnell, is here as well, and we're both just so proud. And he said it's a long time since he rode himself hoarse at a camogie match, but he's after doing it now. And I actually felt like turning around to him a couple of times and said, Joe, I'm trying to tweet and I'm trying to take notes, stop shouting. But yeah, we are immensely proud of them, and they had a job to do here today and they've done it. And I commiserate with Dublin. I've met some of these girls over the last number of years. I think there's an affinity between the two sides ever since coin toss in 2014. And you know, it's hard that it was one of the two of us that had to lose out today. Dublin are still in with a shout. Waterford next weekend. Waterford won't be easy. But what I've seen from Dublin here today, they will certainly give all they've got below in that game next weekend.
We'll let you go and get those hugs, but just very quickly, who's your player of the match? Or name even a couple, like who do you think?
I think Niamh D had a huge influence on the game, but I think the 3 frees she landed, Chloe Morey and the goal, Chloe would have to be my player of the game from a Clare point of view.
Brilliant. Thanks a million, Breed. It's great to have you on the programme this afternoon. And there's pure passion from County Clare, from the PRO, Breed McNamara, and she was in tears. She really was in tears at the end of that. She was so emotional and so proud of the way that the team responded in that second half.
Yeah, I don't blame her. It is an emotional thing. Like, I know you think a relegation battle, it doesn't mean as much, but it's incredible position Clare are now in. They know they're safe for next year. It'll give them good confidence going into the championship. Dublin are kind of lumbering off the pitch. Like, it's a big disappointment. It is, and I can absolutely understand Breed's emotion there on the victory.
A couple of quick comments coming in on the YouTube live chat. Diane Nash says, well done Clare, girls cheering you on. Alana Ryan, and Trina O'Mara says, well done girls, and we're getting lots of yellow and blue hearts being sent in there as well. Finally, Sheila, can you give me your player of the match and a few contenders?
Well, I can't disagree at all with Breed. I think Chloe's leadership and just her ability, her composure, everything about her, it's so natural. It's lovely. Her free-taking style and everything is just so natural, and it's lovely to see. I can't disagree with that player of the match at all. Like, that, she was up there for me, absolutely. From a Dublin point of view, it was unfortunate that Niamh Gannon had to go off injured. I thought she was doing very well. Aisling Marshall and showed great leadership today, scored some lovely scores as well. The back line, I was very impressed with Ciara Tierney, I have to say. Like, stepping in there, it was a hard act to follow. I mean, you heard Breed talking about Faye McCarthy. Everybody knows Faye McCarthy, so when they don't see Faye's name on the sheet, they're probably thinking, let's expose this new one. And I just thought she was a pillar back there, great communication, solid as a rock, and I think she had an absolutely splendid game today. Absolutely. Thanks very much, Sheila. Again, it's been fantastic to have you with us, and it's another Dublin defeat, but what a game. It was a great game, and it was real entertainment, and we get to do it again next week because of one more match. That's if we can look at it that way, you know. Maybe you should get somebody else. Maybe I'm actually bad luck. But yeah, I'm going for a Dublin win next week. I think this game will really stand to them. Hopefully Niamh just needs a bit of rest and her shoulder will be alright, and whatever other niggly injuries that Dublin have, that they'll be going out. They're getting better every week, there's no doubt about that. 100%. I think probably the subs probably need to make more of an impact next week when they come in. I think the changes that were made probably didn't work out as planned. It was just seemed a bit disjointed there when they really needed composure and good heads. There was a bit of panic, spilling balls, bad passes. But it's there, it's absolutely there. There's a lot of positives to take from it. And I think if Dublin work on that now on the training pitch in the next week, they'll still be in Division 1 next year. Okay, Sheila and the Kutcher, thank you very much for joining us here in Birr. It's been an entertaining game. We hope you have enjoyed it. It's ended in victory for Clare in the Littlewoods National League Division 1 relegation playoff. Dublin have another crack at it next week against Waterford. But for now, from Birr.